You are tuned to R32 Media. This is the Business and Technology Show, episode 14. Hello. This is ET. You've tuned to the Business and Technology Show. Today's going to be a little low-key because summer vacation and my neighbors are home, so can't be too loud yelling and screaming about all the business and technology news, so I'll try to keep it on the quiet storm style, a little soul for you. Anyways, how's everyone doing out there? This is ET. We're rolling into Obon, and Obon season is it's a, what do you call it? It's a Buddhist holiday that happens in Japan. And I put a link to Wikipedia. And basically what Wikipedia says about it is it's a Buddhist custom where you honor the departed, deceased spirits of one's ancestors. So basically, you go pray for the people who have died. And you make offerings of incense and usually, it depends. Often people have Buddhist shrines, small Buddhist altars, I guess, or shrines in their houses. So the person who usually in a family, at least this is my personal experience, the people who are managing or taking care of the shrine in their house, the rest of the family, comes and makes offerings in that house, and they usually leave money to and gifts of food or something. So it makes it easier for the person who's actually managing to take care of the thing. So yeah, but it's a 3 to 4 day weekend for most people in Japan. A lot of people use this as a time to go on holiday, and or just have a family reunion type things, and basically eat lots of food and then celebrate and pray for the deceased. And always there's I would say always, often there's a lot of alcohol involved, so it's pretty interesting. But yeah, so that's what's happening this weekend. I have to go to my wife's relative's house, make an offering, eat lots of good food, drink lots of good alcohol, and go to sleep, basically. But yeah, so that's what's basically happening this weekend. So a lot of places are gonna be closed down, so it's not very. I guess it's good to know if you're doing business in Asia about the Obon holiday. But other than that, technology-wise, there's not much going on there with technology. Okay, so without further ado, a little bit more housekeeping. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you're not already subscribed on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. And also sign up for the mailing list to get an email blast once a week with the shows that we've updated. And if we've added new shows or put blog posts up on the site, so you don't have to necessarily keep going back to the site. It'll be delivered to your inbox. So head on over to r32media.com and sign up for it. Okay, let's get into the content. Okay, first story of the day is a keynote or a speech from Anime Expo 2011. And this was done by Danny Cho, who's a really, really famous otaku or geek, I guess you could call him. But he gives this speech. It's about an hour and 6 minute speech, and it's a video that was posted on YouTube. And the interesting thing about it was he basically talks about his business and his life and following his passion. So he had some key points in his speech that I thought were pretty interesting. And first of all, you definitely got to watch this speech. But just to give you an idea of what's in it, the main topic of the speech is forging a life, and he talks about deeply in passion, time management, trollism, and what he talks is really good part of the speech toward the end talks about how to deal with trolls on your website with comments and in your YouTube videos and things like that. How to deal with trolls. He calls it trollism, and he gives lots of examples in his speech about how he followed his passion of Japanese culture and Japanese animation to basically build this empire he's slowly building. And he currently has a web TV show that's also been syndicated on BBC and across America on the animation channel. I don't remember the name of the exact channel in the U.S. since I've been in Japan for so long, but yeah, and it's a good speech. I highly recommend if you have a chance, if you're interested in anything about, I guess, global business and with a little bit tie into animation and just internet life and doing business on the internet. It's one of those things where you should probably have a listen to. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I listened to the whole hour and 6 minutes and 54 seconds of it. So I thought that it would be good to bring up in the business and technology show, since there is a lot of talk about business and technology. And he previously worked for Amazon, Microsoft, and a couple other companies before he opened up his own company. He talks about examples and life in those other companies. So pretty cool. Next story. Apple blocks Samsung tablets, Samsung's 10.1 inch Galaxy Tab from Europe. And the way they did this is they went through a court in Germany. It's kind of known for its favoritism toward companies. And the most interesting and shocking thing about it is this thing went through court without Samsung being able to defend themselves or present their own evidence, which to me is just wrong. And Apple should be ashamed of themselves for not. Yeah, you can sue somebody, but the other person should have the right to, must have the right to, or our society as we know it will break down, must have a right to defend itself. And I just thought that was a low blow. It's unnecessary. And excuse me, actually, I guess sucker punched, basically sucker punched by Apple. Samsung was, and I guess the cool thing is any Galaxy Tabs that are already in Europe can be sold. So I don't know how much inventory they have in Europe as a whole, but if you're interested in getting one, you live in Europe, you should. And there's a chance that this thing might not go on sale again. You might want to run over and pick one up if you can, or order it as quickly as possible. So the court said they could finish their inventory, but they couldn't restock from imported items. Basically, an injunction to sell it in Europe without defense by Samsung. And of course, Samsung released a statement saying they're gonna defend their intellectual property and their right to sell their items. But yeah, I thought that was really low of Apple. If you win fair and square, I'm cool with it. I'm a little bit of an Apple fanboy, but I thought this was just too low blow where you can't even defend yourself and you're going to ban somebody's product. That's just wrong. There's no other way about it. Cablevision, Viacom settle their lawsuit over the iPad streaming app. So a while back, Cablevision released an iOS app that allowed them their members to watch streaming TV on their iPad. And Viacom's like, oh, wait a minute here. Your license, we don't think the license that we gave you gives you the right to do this. So they went to court and they decided to settle. And the way this article says, and this one's from SlashGear via Electronista. This is funny. This is total lawyer speak here. In the settlement today, it appears that the resolution of an unrelated business matter may have helped push things through. So something else that was on the table helped push things through, and this now that they're able to actually continue streaming this video through the app. But there's no hint of what else happened. Was it a financial arrangement? Was this? Did they get a? Yeah, basically, I'm assuming it's some kind of we're gonna give you a little cut of this, or we're gonna let you throw commercials inside of it, or something, extra commercials or whatever. But kind of interesting, yeah. And well, I'm assuming there's gonna be more and more content that's gonna be available on the web and in apps. So we'll probably see a few more of these suits coming through. Because when people signed these original agreements, there was no idea in the world whatsoever that people were going to be making apps to stream television content to an app on a mobile device. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of renegotiating and rejiggering of contracts, I guess you could say. HTML5 boilerplate hits 2.0. So there's a little HTML5 framework that's it's available for free, and they just released the 2.0 version of it. You can get over at GitHub. And those of you who don't know what GitHub is a source code repository. Basically, it's a place for you to store your computer code, and it's designed to be like a social coding sharing site. But you can also store your versioning of your apps privately, so other people can't steal your app. But if you have an app that you don't care about, you can post it up there, and other people can download it and look at the code and run it and do what they want. But HTML5 boilerplate is an app that lets you create HTML5 pages. And some of the new features are uses normalized .css instead of traditional CSS style sheets. Faster build script, uses jQuery, minified jQuery by default, and adds site speed tracking for Google Analytics. So if you're a web developer or you're thinking about getting into web development, or you make your own websites, you should probably have a look at this framework called HTML5 boilerplate, because it basically makes it more efficient and what's the word I'm looking for here? Easier. How about that? That's an easy word. It makes it easier for you to design sites that are HTML5 compliant. Put a link in the show notes. This is from Read Write Web. Hello. Well, basically, there's a new social network. Another one. Oh, my God. So it's called Hilo. And basically, it's from the guy who created TwitPic, the founder of TwitPic, Noah Everett. And recently, Twitter added a picture functionality to Twitter. So TwitPic basically had its milkshake drank, or its cake stolen right under. I mean, a lot of people still use TwitPic, but now that the Twitter added its own picture functionality, I guess the guy Noah Everett maybe it's kind of like a little poke at Twitter. Said, okay, if you do that, I'm just going to create my own Twitter-like network. So he just released it, and everyone's going over there and grabbing their names, and putting one or two posts up, kind of squatting on their names. And the reason why I heard about it is a good buddy of mine, Ryan Ozawa. He always gets Hawaii, Hawaii, as his screen name. That's where he's known everywhere, as Hawaii. And any new service, he goes and grabs the name and shoots a couple messages out in that new service. But once I saw it, I went over there and checked it out, and I was going to say, maybe I should grab my name. And then I typed in Eric just to see if I could get Eric only, and it's already gone. Then after that, I was like, okay, I don't need another social network. If it gets big, I'll go back there later and make up a name. But I don't necessarily think it's going to do well. But it's kind of interesting that he relatively quickly threw together a Twitter competitor, and just goes to show it's not that difficult to code up a Twitter client, or a Twitter copy, I should say, or something similar to it. And almost any programmer can do this. Any decent programmer, whether they can get it to scale or get the marketing to make it a competitor to Twitter, that's a different story. But making a Twitter copy or a Facebook copy or a Google Plus copy is not that difficult. But the main part is he's trying to get a little buzz, and he'll probably get some people checking it out. But other than that, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But only time will tell. But it's interesting that he decided just to kind of do this when Google stole his milkshake, so to speak. First ice cream sandwich devices may launch in October. So Google's really pushing to try to get the next version of Android, which is going to be codenamed Ice Cream Sandwich, out before iOS 5. And Ice Cream Sandwich basically is going to be the first Android OS that is built to run on both